Hello fellow makers and welcome to Hypermakes. Recently I have been working on a side project that requires an enclosure, but after going through several tutorials and guides on the YouTube, I had found that there were no proper detailed guides that would show the full process of designing a snap fit enclosure from scratch. So today I am putting together a comprehensive guide that will walk you through every step, no matter your experience level. The video is slowly paced, so you're free to skip to any of the chapters you're interested in, or you can even watch the video at 2x speed. So without any further ado, let's get started. We start by designing the base of the enclosure. Click on Create Sketch and select the XY plane. Now under the Create menu, select Center Rectangle. This will help the sketch remain constrained from the start. Now use the Offset tool to select the sketch curve and create a new smaller rectangle, considering the fact that you want the first rectangle to be your enclosure's outer wall. After finishing the sketch, select both the sketch objects and click on the Extrude tool. Extrude towards the up direction to your desired length. Here I am going for 2 mm as I want my enclosure's bottom surface to be 2 mm thick. After finishing the extrude operation, the sketch disappears by default. You can bring it back by clicking on this eye icon. Now select the outer rectangular ring to extrude the walls of the enclosure. Extrude upwards till desired height. But as you can see, when we try to extrude towards up again, it defaults to cutting operation. You can change that by selecting Join Operation under the Operation drop-down list. Now we have a basic drawer type object. To make it an enclosure, we will need a lid. Start by selecting the top rectangular surface of the object and create a sketch for that surface. Click on the Offset tool and select the outer rectangle to make 3 offset sketches on that surface. One with half the length of the wall width, one with 0.2 mm less than half wall width, as it will help you give a clearance for clasps later. And finally one with 1 mm length more than the outer wall of the body. After finishing the sketch, you can choose either the base to have the inner clasp lips or the lid to have the inner clasp lips. I am going for the base to have the inner clasp lips, so I will cut the top surface of the object using the Extrude tool, including the clearance ring of 0.2 mm. Now select all the sketch profiles and extrude upwards to your desired length. Make sure Operation is selected as New Body, so that the lid of the enclosure is a new independent body. Now to add clasps to our design, we need to add fillets to our base and lid. To add fillets to the base, click on the fillet tool and start selecting the lip corners on all 4 sides of the base. Now hold and drag the arrow towards the direction you want the fillets to be. Fillet of 1.2 mm seems sufficient here. Now we will add the clasp lips of the lid. Select the outer rectangular ring of width 1.3 mm and extrude downwards using the join operation. The extrude length must be equal to the cut length of the base lip. Now if I show you the sectional analysis of the design, you can see we have the desired 0.2 mm clearance between the lid and the base. But as you can see, the clasp of the lid is missing, so we will add the fillet to the lid similarly. Now we will add a fillet to the outer lip of the lid to increase the layer strength of the lid. Now suppose you want to change the dimensions of the design you just created. You can do that by simply right-clicking on the first sketch of the timeline and changing the dimensions of the rectangle by double-clicking on the dimensions. As the subsequent sketches are dependent on the first sketch, the design will be updated automatically. Now comes the most important part of the video, that is snapping tabs. Start by selecting the longer side surface and create a sketch for that surface. Now under the create menu, select point. Now place a point on the middle of the top edge. You can confirm that it's in the middle when a triangle also known as the midpoint constraint shows up. Then draw a perpendicular line from the point to the bottom edge. This will be our mirror reference line later. Now connect both the diagonals of each rectangle thus formed. Select center rectangle to create the profile of our snapping tabs. The intersection of diagonals is the center of our rectangle. Now similarly, you can use the diagonals for the other rectangle, but you can also use the mirror tool to make things easier. Simply click on the mirror tool and start selecting the features you want to mirror. Then switch to mirror line and select the line we made earlier for our reference. As you can see, the selected features have been mirrored symmetrical to the mirror line. Similarly, now we have to sketch two more rectangles on the opposite side, but again, we can use another grid tool to make things easier. We can use project tool to project the previous sketches or object features in our new sketch. Select project under create menu or press P on your keyboard. Now select all the features you want to project on your new sketch. As you can see, the features from the opposite sketch have been projected on our new sketch. Now we will make the snapping tabs. Select both the rectangles we just sketched and extrude by 1 mm. Then set the taper angle to 50 degrees. But as you can see, the direction is wrong, so we will change the value to -50 to change the direction of the taper. Similarly, do the same for the other side snapping tabs. Now if we see the sectional analysis of our design, you can see how our snapping tabs are intersecting with the lid. I should have done this earlier, but it's never too late to rename your bodies to avoid confusion. Now this part is self-explanatory, as again you have to only project the features on the inside surface of the lid using project tool from the previous sketches. So just follow along. Now here is the final sectional analysis of our completed design. As you can see how the clearance and snapping tabs are placed to help the lid snap onto the base. Now to export any body as a STL file for 3D printing, right click on the body and select Save as Mesh. Just make sure the format is selected to STL binary. You can preview the mesh if you want and then click on OK. You can rename or save it to cloud if you want, then save the file to your computer. So that's it. In the next video, we will take things a step further and explore how to incorporate these enclosures into practical projects. If you found this video helpful, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials and projects. Thanks for watching.